Joining us now is former New Jersey Superior Court judge and host of the Judging Freedom podcast, Judge Andrew Napolitano. Judge, great to see you
good morning,
today.
Allison.
So what do you make of these charges? Do they have a case?
Well, the indictment is very strong and replete with a lot of details, and the allegations are very serious. I do not think, with respect and deference to the former president, I do not think this is a political prosecution at all. The indictment lays out a pattern of Mayor Adams' behavior going back to when he was Brooklyn Borough President. He's not being charged with that because it's beyond the statute of limitations, but the government is allowed at trial to show the defendant's prior bad acts and pattern of behavior. So the allegations here are that he was actually literally bribed, not money put in his pocket. We're not talking about gold bars like Senator Bob Menendez, although this is the same office that successfully prosecuted former Senator Menendez. We're talking about money put in the coffers of his campaign through a circuitous route. So he is accused of asking Turkish businessmen and the Turkish government for campaign contributions and funneling those contributions through straw persons who claimed the money was theirs when it wasn't and reported it as theirs when it wasn't and made those contributions to his campaign.
Yeah, and then there was that whole, the office building.
Well, the office building is very serious. On its face, there's nothing wrong with the mayor of New York helping a foreign country build a consulate in New York. That's good for New York as well as good for foreign relations. But if you're cutting corners, this is what the government says, the mayor denies this, if you're cutting corners on fire safety in return for campaign contributions from foreign persons, you have a very serious problem, and that's what's laid out in this indictment.
We'll see what happens today. So I want to move on now. So Ryan Routh, the attempted Trump assassin, he was charged yesterday with a 5-count indictment. So Judge Eileen Cannon, who oversaw the classified documents case against the former president, so she was randomly selected to preside over this case of this would-be assassin. Can she, obviously a conflict here. What do you think happens now?
Well, I have a lot of experience with the random selection of judges that turns out to be very odd, where you have the same human being who's a plaintiff in one case and a defendant in another. Here she has one who's a defendant in a criminal case that's probably going to come back to her. I think she'll be reversed by the appellate court very soon. And a victim in another case. She obviously can't handle both. So she will recuse herself, and this will go back to the wheel, the random selection process, and it will go to another judge. On the other hand, I don't think there will be a trial of Mr. Routh. I think his lawyers will persuade him to plead guilty. The evidence of his guilt is overwhelming. His only defense would be one of insanity. And I don't know that is something that his lawyers are prepared to go through.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So yesterday, Special Counsel Jack Smith filed a sealed legal brief with evidence against the former president in the January 6th case. So what is happening here with this?
Oh, boy. So normally these briefs are 45 pages long. Jack Smith asked for permission to file a brief that's 200 pages long. To the public, what does that mean? It means a lot in this case, because those additional 165 pages are evidence that the public has not yet seen of what the government says is Donald Trump's guilt of the crimes for which they've accused him on January 6th, 2021. Trump's lawyers will do everything they can to keep this under seal until after Election Day. The government will do everything it can to open it up before Election Day. The choice is in the hands of Judge Chutkan. She'll probably make that choice very soon. Can there be an appeal? There can, but the cat will be out of the bag by the time the appeal is filed.
They won't stop. They will not
No, they won't stop. There's two arguments here. One is the public should know what the government says the former president did before they vote on him. The other is, come on, this is not a campaign issue. This is not an emergent matter. The timing here is so suspect. It's the federal government trying to influence the outcome of a presidential campaign to succeed President Biden. The public will decide which of those arguments makes more sense.
Oh, Lord. All right. Judge Napolitano, great to see you on this Friday.
This stuff is never ending,
It never ends. Listen, we keep you busy.